Okay, we're live. Sorry if it takes me a moment. The little clock up top. Hello, Amada. Welcome. So I try to stay as authentic as possible. Um, and this is what this is about. So, first of all, the moon moved into Aquarius yesterday. And for me, in my chart, um, and you know what? I'm just going to read what I wrote. Actually, you know what? First, I'm going to explain. I had some injections done. I have had fainting spells, dizzy, confusion. Um, I had a CT scan. They found swelling in my brain. Then I had an MRI. That's come back a bit odd. I'm waiting for the neurology team to talk to me tomorrow. So I made notes. That does not mean I don't know this. It means I'm going to stay on track. So, um, astrologically, the biggest change since Friday is the moon has moved into Aquarius. Aquarius energy can create emotional distance, but it can also amplify emotional spiraling for people who are sensitive to it. Like me. Yesterday, I didn't pull a card, I didn't pull a chakra. I slept all day. Today, the neurology team isn't here, so they can't explain to me what they see. Um, there's an awful glare, and I'm trying to get rid of it. It's coming from the window. I apologize. And oh my gosh, sorry. I know that for cell phones, the middle portion. So I guess the glare is just going to be in the middle of my face. Oh, how do I change that? I don't know if I can. Um, so Aquarius, it makes me spiral, emotionally spiral. This lighting is horrible. Sorry. Okay. I don't know. Is that better? Um, so I slept a lot. And then today, and that's why the doctor didn't wake me up yesterday. I did get the MRI done yesterday, but they didn't wake me up. And he said it's too much medical jargon to explain it. He asked me if I had a stroke. These are pretty heavy things to be hit with, to be honest. So we're going to do a week in review. Okay. We're still in Pisces at the North Node. So the larger theme is compassion, intuition, emotional awareness. Pisces energy asks us to feel deeply and connect spiritually. Mercury is still in retrograde, which means communication, memory, and mental clarity can feel scattered. Conversations become confusing. Plans often don't unfold the way you expect to. When you combine all these energies together, you get a very mixture of strong emotional currents from Pisces and a more detached but sometimes destabilizing influence from Aquarius. That combination can create emotional waves. One moment we feel deeply connected, and then one moment we feel distant or overwhelmed. The purpose of this energy isn't to destabilize us, but to ask us to step back and see the larger story. Aquarius reminds us that we are a part of a collective experience, while Pisces remind us to meet that experience with compassion. Compassion, sorry. So if you felt emotionally scattered or overwhelmed over the last couple of days, you're not alone in that. The sky right now is encouraging reflection and compassion rather than control. Uh, I mean, it's still daytime here, but tonight we acknowledge these emotions without letting them take control over us. That being said, like I said, for me, Aquarius, because the way my chart sits, it sits like a tripod. Aquarius comes in and knocks me over. Honestly, I'm really shifting a lot, I know, and I should stop shifting. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. It's just this beam of light thing is annoying. If I turn the light off, it looks worse. So it is what it is. This is not perfection, right? Um, it's authenticity, but we all don't want to look terrible. So Aquarius comes at me, takes me apart. That's okay. We've also had a lot to deal with the war escalation, with the stuff in Memphis. Um, on Friday, I did the candle prayer and a minute of silence for the innocence that has been taken. If that's making you feel overwhelmed, please comment. Do you know what helps me more? Is focusing outward. Yes, I can focus inward is, and believe me, I have many hours to do that. But a little bit of focusing outward is good for me right now. So if you have something, if you want me to pull a specific card for you, tell me in the notes and I will do so. What I will start with is pulling today's card. And I don't have much room here, so I can't do my usual um, thing where I smush them all around counterclockwise, but I can shuffle them, shuffle them counterclockwise, which is what I'm doing. Oh, provide to bring from the bottom, go that way. Open up the energy of today and see what comes. Amanda, if you want a card pull for you, let me know. Okay. Now we're going to close the energy by. How am I going to do this? I did it the other day. I did it like this. So we're closing clockwise. You know, as sorcerers, witches, we have just certain things that we do, and to do them any differently would not be completely authentic. So I'm just going to move this back just a bit so I have a little bit of. See that big glaring window there? That's where that beam of sunlight is coming from. It's right across my face. So once again, I'm using the Haunted Tarot. Let's see what comes up. King of Moons. I will take a photograph. But first, I'm going to read. So I've said this before, but I'm going to just quickly acknowledge it again. So this deck, why I like it. I like decks when people create things from things that are meaningful to them. This deck is no different. Each cat is based on a real life cat. They're black. They might not have used to be black, but they are uh, made black in the deck. Okay, so we want to go moons, not cups. Not staves. Oh, we're at the bottom. So I said the king, right? Yes, the king. So the king of moons. Oh, this is page, knight, queen, and king. The king of moons is an objective and intellectual leader. His presence persuades you to use your intellect and keen powers of observation to seek the truth in all situations. If you're in a position of authority, the king of moons reminds you to make fair and impartial decisions when making decisions. Intellect, authority, and truth. Okay. So what chakra is that connected to today? And then I'm going to go a week in review. But we'll just start with today's. So intellect, authority, and truth. For me, that would mean stay in the middle, so if someone's watching me on their phone, they can actually see what you're doing. Um, I think for me, it means trying to stay in an emotionally balanced place versus sacral keeps coming up. Okay, so we got intuition we got um, intellect and intuition. And there's like 15 cards, and the same one just keeps coming up. I'm not doing this on purpose. But the sacral is Pisces as well. So it's echoing what's going up in the stars. Uh, yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before, we did the forward bend for sacral. So if we want intellect, authority, and truth, we need a pose that echoes that. So for me, I would think it would be goddess. What I want you to remember about goddess is this. When you get into goddess, your arms are up like this, your legs are uh, as wide, bent, slightly sit down. Tilt your pelvis. This is the most important thing. For men, they have to do horse. For women, we can do goddess. Because our pelvises just twist that way. So make sure that you tilt your pelvis. This saves the lower back. Engage your core. If you're going to do full, make sure your shoulders and arms, make sure nothing's too far forward, nothing's too far back. Make sure it's right in the middle. If you feel anything in the joint, um, then you want to exchange it. So you want to keep them. There's nothing wrong with my upper body. It's just my lower back. So that nice balance, and the hands are out in front, but like this. Um, if that is hard, you can come here. If that's too hard, you can put your hands on your hips. Or sorry, on your thighs. Um, Eventually, we want to get into perfect poses, but in the beginning, we just want to start. But that is not the, my gosh, someone's ringing my doorbell at my house. Like there's anything I can do about it right now when everybody else is home. Okay, so Monday we pulled the Emperor. The Emperor represents structure, stability, balance, authority, and it was paired with the throat. So I chose a shoulder stand. It's a shoulder stand that you support your lower back with your hands. So your neck is like this. Your neck's on the ground, shoulders, and you support your lower back, and your feet go straight up. It is a very authoritative pose. You use every muscle. And again, when your hands are behind you, everything stays in line, right? So don't like have your arms way out and then extending. You have them proper alignment is key. So that pose on Monday, um, where in life do we need to stand firmly in our voice while maintaining balance? Tuesday, I wound up very ill, and that's the day I went to hospital. Um, I did write the whole thing about Canada is now a third world country because I told them I was passing out, but they left me in a wheelchair and then yelled at me when I couldn't remember things. But that was the problem is I was passing out, not remembering, and couldn't communicate properly. Um, where I am now, they're taking very good care of me. But the emergency room is a freaking nightmare. Our infrastructure is collapsing. I know it's the same in the US. Um, Too many people, not enough schools, not enough police, not enough fire, not enough ambulance, not enough hospitals, not enough, well, I'm not a big fan of old age homes. I think if you have dementia and you can't be taken care of at home, then that's a reality. But if you can, you should be. Families should step up. They're not nice places. People decline easily. They get very lonely. They get forgotten. My God. Now I know who's at the door. But there ain't nothing I can do about it. So she's just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to send her a text. Like, I don't know what she expects from me. Um, All right. It's live. I can't control these things. So now we'll get back to. Um, so Tuesday, and then gosh, and then I'm sure that on Wednesday, I did pull something, but um, I literally tell her I'm in the hospital, and she's like, okay, I can't. Okay. Ace of Staves was the next card. Oh my gosh. This is Aquarius energy for me. It makes me very annoyed. Really like that. I'll try and stay centered. Okay, so Ace of Spades or Wands. Again, the sacral. It just keeps coming up. We're in Pisces. It's lining. Um, so this one, how you get to this pose. This isn't a traditional yoga pose, but it's something I learned from a yoga teacher that I went to her classes for many years. So you kind of get your butt up as close to the wall, and then your legs are like this, and your back is like this. But as not, you don't want there to be room. You want there to be no wall space or no empty space between the wall and your butt. So, or regardless. So your back is like this. So what this does is it brings the energy downwards, and it softly opens up the no, that's wrong because that was the other one. Oh no, it was. Never mind. Okay, so with your legs like this, the gravity moves downward. If you're a female, this is really good when you're on menstrual cycle. It will take away the pain. It disperses it. Now you can bring um, your feet together, let your knees fall apart. You can also put one foot on the wall, bend your knee, take the other foot, and put it on top. So, trying to think how to explain this. So, if your knee is, your foot's against the wall like this, and then your other foot comes here like this. And this gives a really good glute stretch. And you can control how much it activates by how far up or how far down you put your foot. Working with the wall is very safe. It's very gentle. I chose this energy not just because of what I'm going through, but just because of what's going on in the world. And I want to give comfort versus chaotic movement. Goddess is just opening your body. It's not chaotic. And you can do Goddess without doing a big warm up. But we should always do Mountain with a few breaths before we do anything. Warrior 1, Warrior 2. Um, when I get home, I promise I will show these things. So it's what can we create when we allow emotion to become inspiration? Oh, yes. So I was talking about that creativity. So on Friday, the Page of Chalices um, and the sacral chakra came up again because we're still in Pisces. Um, so forward bend can be done sitting or standing. You just like bending forward. It's gentle. It is comforting. Stay there as long as you wish, but also um, if you're standing, be mindful of the blood rushing to your head. So make sure you come up slowly. Um, it's always best when you come up from uh, something like that to kind of roll up slowly and stand. Because if you just lift your head up really quick, you get dizzy and fall. And that's not what we want. So that was Friday. That was the day of that the shooting happened. That was the day of the white uh, candle prayer. And what I said was to do something creative, to release what you need to in a creative fashion, whether it's painting, knitting, crochet, or making some kind of a vision board. But nothing that's going to remind you of darkness. It's literally removing the darkness. Sorry, my um, I still have to talk to the neurologist tomorrow. Something came back in the MRI. I'm stuck here. I don't know how long. It'd be nice if y'all came. Sorry. So, the whole thing with this dizzy texting, um, my words get jumbled, my texts get jumbled. And then something happened to this eye, so I'm able to see properly out of it. I don't know too much at once. So let's get back to stop all this and, okay, really, like, I don't know what this woman expects me to do when I'm not there. Answer the door, please. Honestly, I apologize for this. What the fuck just happened? Oh my gosh. Like oh, it's not plugged in. I just zapped for a moment, and because it was unplugged, it decided after 20 minutes it was going to. So sorry about this. I chose this time because it's shift change for the nurses, thinking I'd be left alone. But now my daughter's friend, mom, is at the door. No one's answering it. Aquarius energy. I'm trying to hold it together. Leave me alone. Okay. You know what? Let's do this together. Okay. Calm. You know what? This is what we're doing. Putting it on silent. Flipping it over. The sacral chakra is your lower abdomen. So I want you to do some belly breathing with me. So we're breathing in light, and we're inhaling, holding, and exhaling longer than you inhale. So inhale for the count of 4. Hold. Inhale for 4. Hold for 5. Exhale for 6. Into the belly. And as you're doing that, imagine light coming in, moving the emotional imbalance around, and then releasing it. One more time. Much better. Now, um, okay, so I'm going to choose something. Why is it? All right. Um, I was looking for something. Okay, here's a pretty deep piece. There will be a version of this story that is more graphic. There has to be. Because people need to understand that what actually happens, not the sanitized version, not the movie version, the one that still exists. 40 years later, it still stings. I remember too many details: the texture of the carpet, the sounds of boots on wet pavement, the way cold air feels when you're not dressed for it, the smell of rooms that haven't seen daylight in months. And yet, I've probably forgotten more than I remember. Memory protects itself. My life has always been balanced on the edge of survival, like now. Well, actually, dramatic survival. Okay, not dramatic survival, not cinematic survival, practical survival. I read rooms, I read people, I read men. Reading danger before it speaks, I learn quickly. That's the thing about girls like me. We don't stay naive for long. There are myths about Lilith being chaos, being ruin, being destructive. What people don't understand is that sometimes rebellion is just a survival strategy. Sometimes walking in the dark is the only way out. I wasn't wild for the thrill of it. I wasn't wild because I refused to be owned. Or I was wild, sorry. My eyes. Death has followed me everywhere. Not as a single event, but as a present. This says I sat in hospital beds, but I'm sitting in one now. It walked city streets. It stood in doorways and watched. It's brushed past me more than once, and yet I'm still here. People don't know what to do with someone who has been that close to the edge so many times. They want lighter stories, cleaner versions, something easier to digest. My husband doesn't like me to talk about the past, as if silence could erase it. Smaller. But what follows you in the dark does not disappear just because someone turns off the light. It's why he says he never feels like he really knows me. There's so much behind my eyes. He isn't wrong. There are rooms in me I don't open casually, not because I'm hiding, but because some doors are heavy. Animals don't ask questions. They don't demand explanations. They don't flinch when they feel something sharp beneath the surface. Beneath the surface. After the escape, they wrote me off in their notes, said they had never seen a girl so hard, so cold. I wasn't cold, I was sealed. Then I got the job at the ranch. Artie, a retired racehorse with fire still in his legs. Willie, a small, very smart quarter horse with patient eyes. Artie and I rode like the wind. There is no room for memory when you're running that fast, just muscle and breath and trust. I'm going to interrupt part of my book to tell you a little story. When I used to get to the ranch when I was about 16, Artie would start kicking because he wanted out. He would just follow me around as I was taking care of the rest of the horses, teaching kids to ride. Um, Once I took a friend with me in the endowment lands in Vancouver. There is equestrian riding, like there's jumps. Um, I've always ridden with just a saddle pad. Basically, it's bareback It's just a pad with stirrups. I've learned to hold on with my legs. Artie could jump them easily, and I knew how to hang on, and that was fun for me. Um, we wound up getting a bit askewed, so we wound up in the middle of, it wasn't a highway, but a really fast road. And you remember, I was on a racehorse. He was retired, but he was still a racehorse, and he was racing the cars. And we were passing them, and they were going really fast, probably about 80 kilometers. Now that's a fun memory in the midst of this darkness. If I fell off, he would stop and wait. Okay, I'll get back. Willie taught me something different. With him, I taught children to ride, small hands, gripping reins, nervous laughter. I softened without realizing it. Horses didn't need my past explained, they just needed me steady, and I was. When I would arrive, like I said, he would kick his stall, not angry, not restless, calling. He followed me around like a massive, magnificent dog. So I'm trying to just tell the stories like as memory, not as writing when you're putting every little part in. I told you when we rode bareback, he didn't bolt. He just waited. That's when I understood something. Horses don't care about your mythology. They care about your nervous system. They feel whether you're fragmented or whole. He didn't see a hard girl. He saw someone who had learned to read danger before it moved. I think that's why he trusted me. Before I die, I will rescue horses, not because I need to save them, because something in us recognizes the same language. With him, I was peaceful, not powerful, peaceful. Like a day where the temperature is perfect and nothing is wrong. No storm building, no shadow watching. Just breath, hooves, and dirt, wind. She paid me, the woman that owned it, in nickels and dimes, but I wasn't there for the money. It was the connection. Artie didn't care about what had happened before I arrived. He didn't ask where I'd been. He didn't flinch at the hardness people wrote in their notes. Oh, how did I get past that? Sorry. Um, Not a herd, not a show place. Okay, before I die, I will rescue horses. Not a herd, not a show place, just a small piece of land, enough. Enough to grow food, enough to breathe, enough to watch my children and their children, to run without watching shadows. A hobby farm, rows of vegetables, a greenhouse, two horses, and a paddock. Maybe chickens, maybe goats. Teaching them to tend and grow instead of run and survive. Teaching them how to read weather instead of danger, how to fix a fence instead of break a chain. I don't want extravagance. I just want enough. Enough land that nothing can corner us. Enough sky that no one can own it. I would love to be back by the ocean. Salt air, long horizon, the kind of tide that teaches you patience. But it doesn't have to be the ocean. It just has to be close enough to my children. Close enough they can drop by unannounced. Close enough that their children know where to find me. The land matters. The proximity matters more. I've spent a lifetime moving towards survival. Now I want to move towards staying. In the version where he is there, nothing is extravagant. He is simply calm. No anger in the walls. No sharpness in the air, just steady. That's all it takes for him to stay in the picture. Not wealth, not dominance, not promises, peace. Um, the backstory of why I was so hard at 16 is for another day. I thank you, Amada, who joined, and I thank anyone who watches this. So, of course, we end with the King of Moons. So, don't let all of the emotion, all of the Aquarius, all of Mercury's retrograde fire derail you. Come back to steadiness, intellect, authority in self. If this has resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Hopefully, this gets uploaded properly to my YouTube, which is called Willow a Witch. The altar awaits, and the altar right now is, well, it's the one I show in my pictures. It's got the um, white opal plate, goddess stone. This is a goddess stone. Pink opal, eye of Shiva, and the white opal plate. An altar does not have to be complicated. This connects me to the goddess. I put it on my heart. This connects me to mine. So I'm meditating. I put it there. And I hold on to this to keep me soft. But these three stones make up everything. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be steady. It just has to show up. And that's what matters. I don't know what they're going to say tomorrow. I'm scared. I'm not going to cry. But this last 50 minutes, even though I'm tearing up, has steadied me. Because before I did this, my mind was spiraling. I could feel it. So I thought, you know what? Even though I can't show you the yoga poses today, I'm going to show up. If anyone ever feels depressed or spiraling, you can reach out to me. I will answer you. Please comment. You can private message me either on YouTube or Substack. Oh, fuck. I don't know why it's doing that. You can private message me either on YouTube or Substack. Um, I will listen. I understand depression. I understand anxiety. I understand how what's going on in the world affects you. And I know how to steady in the eye of the storm. So, namaste. Thank you. The altar awaits. How simple it is, but it still is. And so do I. Blessings.